let's move into talking about some video games.
Let's.
Let's go ahead and talk about, let's start with consoles that you believe had poor launches. Not enough, PR before they were launched.
I think that we cannot have this topic without starting with the Wii U. Because essentially the Wii U probably had the worst launch that it could have possibly had. I guess not, because there could have been a few more people out there, but obviously, why do you think that is? Because I have my own reasoning behind it, my own thoughts and feelings behind it, but what do you think?
The thing of it is, they never released enough. There was nothing about it. Honestly, there was very few commercials. Not a lot of people even know it exists still today. And very few that don't realize that it's not just a peripheral for the Wii.
Right.
They don't understand that it's a completely different system. Which, with that being Nintendo's next gen, they really could have stepped it up.
They could have, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Nintendo didn't launch didn't market the original Wii well. And what that may sound funny because it sold so well, but I don't think that they marketed it at all. I think it marketed itself. Because at the time it came out, it was like, wow, and then that was word of mouth that spread. I can't tell you how many family members I have that bought a Wii because their kids' parents or their kids' friends' parents told them how great it was that the kids were getting interactive in their game. And then, because I don't really at the beginning remember the market being flooded with Wii commercials.
I remember a few, but the thing is, it was innovative and new at the time.
Right.
That was the thing. Nobody had that full motion.
Right, and they counted on that same success transferring over to the Wii U as the gamepad because there was nothing out there like that, but I don't think the gamepad was enough for it to somebody to say, wow.
Hey, look at me, I'm something
right.
Right.
Right, because they looked at it as, it's a game system with a portable system that you can take your tablet away or whatever. But the truth is the functionality of the Wii U gamepad is, if people knew what it did and how it worked and just how good the Wii U as a system is, I think that if they would have marketed that better, I think that they would have sold a lot more than they did when you say that.
It is an innovative console, but they just didn't bring the full features out there. They didn't put enough PR out there.
No. Another one that I got to talk about is probably Sega. The Sega killed themselves because it was like, hey, here's your Sega Genesis, and here's this thing that'll go with it, and here's your Sega CD, and here's your Sega this, and here's your this, and your this, and your this, and people were just flooded, and I don't think that they could have even desired that to know that I can get my kid this Sega CD, but then he's going to want this other thing, and then he's going to want this other thing, and then he's going to, and I think that parents probably killed that, but they probably hung themselves.
Yeah, it was just year after year, but that Dreamcast that they brought out was a decent system.
Mm-hmm.
I played it a little bit. I thought the interactive memory card was neat.
Right, but didn't it launch with the peripheral? Didn't it launch with something that could lock into the controller? I seem to remember that, and maybe that was enough to kill it. Because
that was another thing. It had the memory card was its own peripheral because it was an interactive memory card.
Yep, parents were so sick of buying that system. They're like, I'll go buy him this Nintendo, and he'll have it for 4 years, and they won't make anything that'll hook to it,
Right.
And or I can buy this Sega, and every 6 months I got to spend another $100 to get this new piece that the kids got to have to play this game, or else they can't play it.
Right. Yeah. Sega just I don't know. They really should have just left it at the Genesis and then jumped over to their Dreamcast.
Right.
I feel like that would have been a big time.
Because then at that point in time it would have been, you skipped the Sega CD. It would have been the first CD launched. There was one shortly after that. No, there wasn't, because the Nintendo 64 came out around about that time.
Well,
right?
Then again, you should thank Sega because they gave rise to Sony.
Yeah.
Because originally what happened was they were trying to work with Sony on the disc-based entertainment for their Sega CD,
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up switching and talking with Philips instead and having them make the peripheral for it, and it actually gave birth to the Sony PlayStation.
They were just mad. Out of spite, they've created this empire.
We're going to crush you.
Yeah, we will buy you, Sega, and we will have Sonic games on our system.
Right.
You will laugh.